Coming up on this edition of We Are Washington.
D.C. public schools are called the fastest improving in the nation. Plus, it's a celebration 50 years in the making.
You look back and it just seems like it was yesterday.
The inspiring tribute to Dr. Sylvia Traymore Morrison.
And then
it's really the unifying of the community.
We'll take you to the neighborhood extravaganza that has become the H Street Festival.
Those stories are coming up. The news rundown is straight ahead. We Are Washington starts now.
Welcome to We Are Washington. I'm Cecily Fernandez.
And I'm Matt Granato. This week, we're talking about a great report card for D.C. schools, a game changer for service at the DMV, and an unforgettable night honoring the contributions of the city's artistic community.
Then it's the story of a D.C. native who paved the way for women in comedy. Dr. Sylvia Traymore Morrison is America's first black female impressionist who got her start when she was noticed by Red Fox and went on to become one of the first women to write for Saturday Night Live. We'll bring you to 50 years of comedy, a celebration of a remarkable and very funny pioneer. We'll have those features coming up on the way, but now let's get to the news rundown.
Mayor Muriel Bowser is calling it the renaissance of our schools as national test results show major improvements by district students.
The National Assessment of Education Progress, also known as the nation's report card, tests proficiency in 4th and 8th grade reading and math and measures achievement gaps. The 2019 assessment shows that the district's average score for 4th grade math increased 3 points between 2017 and 2019. And average scores for 8th grade reading and math both increased by 3 points. The district was the only state in the nation to show gains in 8th grade reading.
D.C. continues to be the fastest improving state in the nation, and DCPS is the fastest improving urban school district in the nation. It is a testament to what our students and our staff and our educators and our central office and our leadership have been doing in Washington, D.C. for public education.
To see complete results of the testing, go to nationsreportcard.gov.
The African-American girl who made history in 1960 by attending an all-white school in New Orleans, escorted by U.S. Marshals, is honored in D.C. Now, each year, November 14th will be known as Ruby Bridges Day. The mayor was inspired to make the proclamation after receiving a letter from a 3rd grade student from Milton Gottesman Jewish Day School who wanted the city to honor Ruby Bridges and celebrate her bravery. November 14th, 2019 marked the 59th anniversary of the day Bridges became the first African-American child to attend an all-white school.
17-year veteran firefighter Alex Graham was called irreplaceable as he was honored during a line of fire funeral at D.C. Armory. Graham was a beloved fixture behind the wheel of Engine 21 that responds to calls around Northwest Washington's Adams Morgan neighborhood. The 48-year-old known as Big Al suffered a heart attack while conducting a water flow test at the training facility in Blue Plains.
His legacy will live on in every life that he touched, in every firefighter that he mentored, and in the values of our city that he helped define through his work.
Protecting, serving, helping until the end. Thank you, firefighter technician Alexander Alex Graham, for all you gave and shared with all of us, on and off the job.
In 2018, Graham was named Firefighter of the Year.
The district is getting tougher on safety violations happening in bike lanes on city streets. In supporting the Vision Zero initiative, Mayor Muriel Bowser is adding more than 24 additional parking enforcement officers to the Department of Public Works. These officers will be dispatched to areas where surveillance and 311 requests have shown additional resources could help increase safety. Officers will be able to take photos of vehicles blocking bike lanes and mail citations directly to owners. Mayor Bowser's Vision Zero initiative focuses on bringing deaths and serious injuries on D.C. roads to zero by the year 2024.
Self-service vehicle emissions tests are now a reality in D.C. The first emissions kiosk launched in the district to give residents 24-hour access to perform their own vehicle emissions test.
About 171,000 DC residents come to the one and only inspection station in Southwest to get their vehicle emissions inspection done. The addition of this OBD kiosk would indeed, as the mayor has said, will give DC residents the opportunity to come on their own time to have their vehicle inspected.
The kiosk is available for vehicle model years 2005 and newer and is operated by DC Department of Motor Vehicles.
Addis Ababa, Ethiopia is honoring the District of Columbia and Mayor Bowser. The mayor traveled to Ethiopia, renewing a sister city agreement between the two capital cities. The visit included the renaming of a city street to Mayor Muriel Bowser Street and the gazebo roundabout to Washington, D.C. Square. The agreement is meant to forge a relationship among the cities centered on economic development, public health, sustainability, culture, education, and government collaboration.
What does it take to succeed in finance? Top professionals gave their insights as part of the Conversations with Women Who Lead series. The Mayor's Office on Women's Policy and Initiatives designed the series to give young professionals an opportunity to hear directly from leaders about what it takes to succeed in various industries. The latest installment at Howard University featured women in the finance industry. To learn more about the series, visit owpi.dc.gov. DC's creative community took a bow as part of the 34th annual Mayor's Arts Awards at Union Market.
From photographers and performers to art teachers and writers, the awards celebrate the creative communities in all 8 wards that give the district its unique culture. New this year, residents had the opportunity to vote online for their favorites in 11 categories that range from performing arts to humanities and visionary leadership.
We are more than the White House and Congress and monuments and memorials in Washington, D.C. That real people live here, real artists live here, who force us to break out of the black and white, the way we look at the world and see the world in color, pinks and purples and oranges and blues, so that we can experience the fullness of our lives because of the wonders of art.
The DC Office of Cable Television, Film, Music, and Entertainment was proud to produce the event, along with the newly created DC Creative Affairs Office.
Fans of the 90s movie Set It Off got a chance to enjoy the classic in a whole new way with a stage adaptation performed recently at the Warner Theater. Produced by Jacarius Johnson, the stage adaptation of Set It Off features Da Brat, who brings to life the iconic role of Cleo Sim, played by Queen Latifah in the movie.
All right, getting right into a recap of some of our top stories this week. Staying right with one of the recent stories we talked about, the Mayor's Arts Awards this year at Union Market, Dock 5. It's kind of a different location for the Mayor's Arts Awards to be held. What an event, a lot of colorful performances, a lot of things happening, a lot of different things that you might not see at the Mayor's Arts Awards. And, you know, one of my personal favorites, there was a band doing 90s cover songs, and a lot of those songs resonated with me. I really liked that performance.
The venue was really striking. Yeah. It has kind of this indoor-outdoor Dock 5 at Union Market. I didn't even realize it was there.
Me too.
So it was just nice to see all these beautiful spaces, different venues in the DC area.
Moving on to the next story, the remembrance of Alex Graham from DC Fire and EMS. And I think that, you know, one of the things that struck me about this service, Pipes and Drums, who we've actually featured in the past, was part of the overall service. And this is exactly what they do. This is what they were telling me about and what we sort of profiled here on the show, which is supporting and remembering fallen brothers and sisters in their service with the pipes and drums and the solemn music that they play. And it was just really incredible to see them part of this. And
it was great that he was honored in that way, because you could tell from what his colleagues were saying about him that he was really indispensable.
And finally, the last story we're talking about today, the DMV inspection kiosk, available 24 hours at your own time and convenience. If you're a DC resident and you'd like to have your inspection done, You can go visit the kiosk now. How great is
This
that?
is a game changer,
It really
I
is.
would say. I mean, you know, you wonder how many things are going to go towards this ATM-style self-service. Now, I have to say that, you know, I've been a DC resident for a long time, and I have found that I've had a very easy time with the emissions tests. They're very, you know, efficient when you
Okay.
go there, and you know, if you just don't go during busy hours. But this is a great, you know, great new addition to their services.
Now, do you want to try the kiosk, or are you going to stick with the old system where
You know,
you go
I'm
and somebody does it?
I'm
and
such a
helps you out?
people person.
Okay.
Sometimes I enjoy to meet the people who are there doing the testing. We have a little conversation.
Okay.
I ask you how it's going, and eventually I'll do the kiosk. But you know, I'm fine with the old school way for now.
The kiosk's still available for people like yourself who are
Exactly,
interested
keeping
in
it old school.
That's right.
After the break, a DC legend gets a last laugh with a celebration of 50 years in comedy.
Then later, it's been called the most anticipated street festival in the District of Columbia. We're heading to the annual 8th Street Festival to find out what makes it such a big draw year after year.
Welcome back. From Whoopi Goldberg to Diana Ross and Michelle Obama, Sylvia Traymore Morrison's spot-on impressions have fueled a career in comedy that spans 50 years.
With a lot of emotion and lots of laughs, this DC native was honored by the comics she's inspired for a career that started with Red Fox and include touring with Whitney Houston and writing for Saturday Night Live.
It was a night filled with plenty of surprises.
Y'all need to go ahead and laugh because I'm wearing my 18-hour bra and then got the 2 more hours.
Well, thank you, everybody. This is Richard Pryor. Let's go.
Comedians, friends, and family gathered to celebrate 50 years of comedy with Sylvia Traymore Morrison.
I was watching a film on YouTube where Monique was talking to Ricky Smiley, and then she said, "We're comics of the 90s." But I was like, well, what happened to the 60s and the 70s and the 80s? Because I was there. I was there. And I remembered talking to her on the phone one day, and she said, I told her I was getting tired. I was getting tired. I was getting older and I was getting tired. And she said, Miss Sylvia, don't get tired, because I'm that little girl. I'm that little girl that because of you, I'm able to do what I do. And that was such a big deal for me.
Known for her spot-on impressions of everyone from Whoopi Goldberg.
And now I want to bring out Miss Whoopi Goldberg.
Well, let me just say this.
To Patti LaBelle.
I feel like another one. Feel like another one. How is it that two people live together and
Sylvia's career began at a time when she says she never saw anyone who looked like her doing comedy. And despite the obstacles, her natural abilities caught the attention of Red Fox, who served as an early manager. She went on to become the first African-American woman to write for Saturday Night Live and toured with Whitney Houston. Throughout her career, she served as a mentor to countless female comics.
I just have to say, I started doing comedy at a particular age, and it wasn't cute. And Sylvia Traymore Morrison embraced me.
Sylvia has no idea she is my comedy mommy. Who knew that 20 years on the crack addiction, 12 years clean, she could encourage me to do this comedy thing.
The bumps and the bruises that woman had to take so that I could stand tall, but she kept going. So every moment of this evening, she deserved.
Along with performing, Sylvia has also written 2 books and is currently busy writing the next chapter of her career.
Thank you. I'm still excited for the next 50. If I can make it 50 more years. It's been absolutely wonderful.
Well, after the break, it's the street fair extravaganza that has grown from a block party to a regional draw. We're headed to the H Street Festival.
We're down here at the H Street Festival, and I found the guys who have the best spot on the block, the most shade, right near all the food, all the fun, and everybody's passing by, so we're just hanging out. Is this your first H Street Festival, or have you been down here before?
No, this is my first time. I've seen the ribs, so I might want to get some of those. I've seen some sangria, so I might want to get about 10 of those.
The H Street Festival, hands down, is the best neighborhood city festival every year. So I'm really proud that that's hosted right here in Ward 6.
This has been something that's grown year after year, but have you been to this event before? What do you think of it?
Well, this is our first time attending, and we're just blown away. Not just by the size of the event, but the number of people and the fact that it's grown from, 2 blocks to, 15?
The thing I love about the H Street Festival, I believe it's the largest street festival every year in the city. And the thing I love is that it is, without a doubt, the most colorful and diverse festival we have in the city.
The music, the bands, the food, all that. H Street is growing. It's beautiful, man. It's beautiful.
You've been out to H Street Festival before. What do you like out here?
The music, of course. The people, the festivals, the different things. We have different cultures mixed together, just fun. Kids, you see families, everybody just coming together as one.
H Street is a wonderful part of the fabric of Washington, D.C. Across all 8 wards, people are excited about our city.
This is my first time coming on by the H Street Festival. I saw a ridiculous amount of fried food down there, and that made me, number one, be happy to be a DC resident, but number two, also made me feel like I was back home at the Kansas State Fair, where we just had, tons of funnel cakes and corn dogs and chips with all sorts of miscellaneous ingredients on top.
Come from the city of brotherly love originally, the nation's first capital, but I honestly think this is a better capital, especially for reasons like H Street Festival. I've been here every year, and it's really the unifying of the community in Washington, D.C. There's great food, great drinks, great people, and I think that just epitomizes what Washington, D.C. stands for.
Thanks for letting me be part of the crew here for at least a couple of minutes. All right, man.
All right.
Well, Matt, I have to say, you are Mr. H Street Festival.
I felt a little like an ambassador out there.
Yes, I think so. Well, you've been to quite a few, and now you have a new crew.
Yeah, new crew. Did you see my guys?
Yes, exactly.
Hanging out on the concrete slab. I felt a little bit like, when I was asking the questions, like, how many H Street festivals have you been to? Did you hear the way I was asking the question?
Yeah, as
like,
if everybody's gone to, 10 of them.
A dozen, 3, 4. Is this your first one? That's how you know you've been.
You're the ambassador.
Ambassador.
Yes.
That's right.
Well, that's all the time we have for this show, but we do have time for one last thing.
I was putting together all of the fun that we had at the H Street Festival you just saw. Not everything can make it.
No, some things wind up on the cutting room floor, right?
Yeah, but they don't belong there. They don't deserve to be there. But this I had to pull out and set aside and show you in its entirety, because among all the different things you can do there and people you'll see, I ran into a coworker of ours, and she was doing a trivia contest. Nice. And they're giving away free T-shirts. I want to spoil. Well, I don't want to spoil it for you, but I did compete.
You didn't bring a T-shirt back for me.
I did compete.
That was noticed. Okay.
So from DC Radio, this is Jessica, and she was down there asking questions to all of the people who were passing by, and I said to myself, I got to check it out. I got to try it. So take a look at this. How are you getting everybody's attention as they walk by?
Well, we're bribing them with these really cool free T-shirts. If you answer 3 trivia questions about Ward 7 in DC correctly, then you're in. You get a cool free T-shirt.
Okay, I probably shouldn't play because I don't want to look bad on camera, but let's go ahead. I want to play. I want to get some of the trivia questions. What are you asking people today?
Okay, well, first of all, for guests that are a little nervous, we start off easy and we give them a question like this. Fill in the blank. Taxation without
representation.
That easy. Then we kind of kick it up a notch, and then we'll ask them what famous soul singer came out of Ward 7.
Marvin Gaye? Marvin Gaye, all right. Yeah.
Not that bad. You want to do one more?
I got 2, so I'm at least going to finish 2 out of 3. So yeah, let me do the third one.
Okay, so we'll keep it a little general. So let's take it to U Street. What famous restaurant on U Street has a location on U Street and H Street?
Oh, I got this one. I have this one. The mural on the side, Ben Ali Way, Ben's Chili Bowl.
Correct. That you got it.
I'm a winner. I came to H Street and I went home a winner. How about that? I went home a winner.
Wow, you really represented us so well. I'm very impressed.
It was the first free thing that I've gotten at the H Street Festival. I mean, in terms of winning it and feeling prideful of like, hey, look at this, I got a t-shirt
And there was no cheating. We know and love Jessica, but she would not have given you any of the answers. No, she's a straight shooter.
Didn't go easy on me either.
Next time you win something, you could consider bringing something back for me. Just a suggestion.
Or you can come out and compete.
Okay, well then, there you go.
All right. That is all the time that we have for today, but we'd like to remind you that if you enjoyed what you watched, you enjoyed the features, you enjoyed the show, you can check out more of We Are Washington and all of the features we have to offer if you go to YouTube and search Entertain DC. Our playlists are all right there. It's really easy for you. We made it simple, right?
Lots of good stuff.
That's right.
See you next time.